if you step away from that, let's talk about. There's a lot of things now that like China's involvement in countries in Africa, helping with the infrastructures that we just spoke that we spoke about earlier on. What's your take on that?
Yeah, because I guess I've made a lot of reference to the West and colonization, but I feel like, well, not that I feel like, we know that it's not just the West that are bulldozing their way into Africa. There's other nations. So I believe China definitely gives a lot of loans to complete work, and it's not a fair exchange. So I think, yeah, the challenge is, and as solution-focused individuals, how do we curb that so that it is a fair exchange? There's a lot of, discourse about trade deals, especially this year with what President Trump did with his trade deals and whatnot. But yeah, there is a lot of influence, I believe, in China and West Africa. And
Bro,
yeah,
like sticking to China, yeah, we talk about countries like Zambia, for example, yeah, where they're struggling, and there's an over reliance in my perspective on the Chinese and the help that the Chinese
but what are they struggling
have given
with
them.
specifically?
Well, economically they are. They I think. Listen to this. So I think they owed China $4.1 billion. Yeah, based on them helping out with infrastructures in the country and stuff like that, which is fine because there are positives that could come out of it. Let Zambia default once. Guess what's happened now? Such as the ambiguity around the contracts and all of these things that they had signed, they've gone to go have they've gone to have a conversation centered around restructuring what's owed and stuff like that because they're struggling now for repayments. Now Zambia owes $6.1 billion. Now they owe $6.1 billion. And they will lose potentially, they haven't yet, but they will lose assets in their country and stuff like that. So it's like, now I get the facts that, yeah, you've come into certain countries to assist with sort of loans and helping them build certain things to make the countries look a lot better and stuff like that. But actually, what is your main aim? What is your main aim in Africa? Why have you gone into Kenya?
I guess it's business.
Well, no, some people will can acknowledge that it might be strategic positioning in terms of business.
Or are some countries seen as an easy target?
Aha, talk to me about that though. What do you mean?
So I'm sure people will say it's just business, right? But then most nations want to increase their GDP, their wealth, and the betterment of their people. Cool, let's go and... Obviously now it's not slavery, but we can still target and enslave people in different ways. This is financial enslavement, if you think about it.
It is.
So,
and I think there's a word for it. I think it's called the debt trap, trap diplomacy, where it's like, we're doing all of this for you, but actually when you look at the negatives or the potential negatives, because it's also important to free China off the badness that we're talking about at the moment, because there might be certain things that they haven't done, but we're saying this is a possibility, right? The debt trap diplomacy is like, when you look at it, you think, right, like, you could financially ruin me with everything that we've agreed to. A lot of these countries, I guess it's down to them to understand what it is that they're signing up for, but actually, me losing an airport or strip a road or government or positions in government to a foreign national because I thought that was helping me, there's a bit of malice.
but then should we give them more credit? Maybe it's a risk they're willing to take for short-term gain.
A risk who's trying to take? The countries?
Perhaps a country has done a deal with another country, let's say taken out a loan for some sort of thing, but then they know there's a risk that they're going to lose X, Y, and Z, or seat in government or some land. But
I personally don't want to see
yeah,
anyone.
If you're struggling,
what if you're struggling? You're opening the doors to be abused.
Yeah, that's it.
No. I think you've got to be a real evil person to do that. But I guess that's the way of business, right? Somebody's got to be here for somebody to be here. But not my Africa. Not my Africa. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, there are leaders that have proposed things in the past in Africa to make Africa one, The certain leader spoke
Who
about
proposed the currency for Africa? We've mentioned it on an
Gaddafi.
episode. Yeah.
Gaddafi, but I think as of
What a
recently,
polarizing individual.
no, yeah, well, you know,
Because what they'll make you believe.
I got views about that one. I
Yeah.
got views about that one. It's very hard for people to hate somebody. Anyway, I got views on that. But Ibrahim Traore, he's coming through, and he looks like he's a revolutionary that wears his heart on his sleeve, that wears his country's badge with pride. Someone that's striking fear into people's hearts. But also at the same time, the people of Africa are warming to him because you have someone that looks like they're fighting for the better of Africa. And I couldn't be more proud of seeing that happen. I think if we could have 20 more Ibrahim Traores, why can't you be an Ibrahim Traore, bro?
I can.
Be it.
Yeah.
Be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I think that's what we need to do, man. There's someone that's flying the flag for Africa, someone that wants the best for Africa. At least it looks like it. At least it looks like it.
Oh, we need a modern day Mansa Musa. I know we wanted to talk about him, yeah.
Mansa Musa, the richest man to ever walk this earth. The myth that he walked around different countries dropping gold to people.
Apparently he devalued gold from...
They need
Yeah. He was giving it out so freely. Apparently, if he was around today, Mansa Musa's net worth would be 400 billion. So he'd be richer than Jeff Bezos.
Who's Jeff Bezos? Who's Jeff Bezos? We're talking about Mansa Musa, a man that was gold plated. You know, like, this is Africa, the king of Mali, the Malian empire. Read about it. Serious. You know? But of course, I feel like the world that we live in now needs Africa to be in a certain position. It's not a position that I agree. No.